Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources.
New York Times Business. November 20th. 5:01 America New York, Race to the Future. What to know about the frantic quest for cobalt. A New York Times investigation examines the global demand for raw materials as the clean energy revolution takes off. This is what we found. Miners hauled bags of cobalt in the Southeast Democratic Republic of Congo. New York Times Business. November 20th. 5 o'clock America New York, global rivalries are miring the clean energy revolution. The quest for Congo's cobalt, which is vital for electric vehicles and the worldwide push against climate change, is caught in a cycle of exploitation, greed and gamesmanship. New York Times Business. November 20th. 5 o'clock America New York, how Hunter Biden's firm helped secure cobalt for the Chinese. The president's son was part owner of a venture involved in the $3.8 billion purchase by a Chinese conglomerate of one of the world's largest cobalt deposits. The metal is a key ingredient in batteries for electric vehicles. Hunter Biden speaking in Washington in 2016. New York Times Business. November 20th. 5 o'clock America New York, career coaching today. Forget the corporate ladder and find yourself. The pandemic created a great reckoning among workers. Here to serve them is a raft of newfangled career coaches. Sharon Eskandani, a breath work coach, working with a client, Anisha Anya in Brooklyn. New York Times Business. November 20th. 5 o'clock America New York, high gas prices force sacrifices, like travel and dining out. They hit their highest level since 2014 last month, forcing Americans to rejigger household budgets and forego leisure activities. Times are tough right now, said Chris Gonzalez, an Uber Eats driver.
Wall Street Journal Markets. November 20th. 3:46 America New York. Turkey's currency crisis raises cost of living, threatens financial system. If the lira's slide isn't arrested, it poses a threat to the country's banks and large companies, as the crisis drives up the prices of food and other essentials.
Daily FX Market News. November 20th. 3 o'clock America New York, Bitcoin, BTC, and Ethereum, ETH, a period of strong consolidation is needed if the long-term trend is to resume. This week's sell-off has called into question the multi-month crypto rally. A period of rebuilding can help get the market back on track.
Marginal Revolution. November 20th. 2:50 America New York, Nellie Bowles interviews me on inflation. So I called someone smart, Tyler Cowen, an economist, author, and professor at George Mason University, to explain the dynamics to me. Inflation right now is still transitory in that we can choose to end it, Cowen told me.
Forex Live. November 20th. 2:37 America New York, Central Bank Watch. Will the Fed stay flexible? Central Bank Rundown. Good morning, afternoon and good evening one and all. It's time for your central bank catch-up. So, if you have been out of the loop, or just want a quick refresher, then grab a coffee and let me get you up to speed.
Wall Street Journal Markets. November 20th. 1:11 America New York, Reliance Industries, Saudi Aramco to re-evaluate planned business tie-up. Indian conglomerate Reliance says the move stems from its greater push into new energy and materials business.
Marginal Revolution. November 20th. 1:08 America New York. What is the income happiness gradient for dogs? Gunther the German Shepherd spent a recent morning playing with his tennis ball, rolling in the grass, slobbering a little and napping a lot. Later, he had a meeting with the real estate agent selling his Miami mansion that his handlers bought from Madonna.
Armstrong Economics. November 20th. 007 America New York. Executive orders and presidential tyranny. Some may remember the original Schoolhouse Rock jingle, "I'm just a bill." While the original explanation was difficult for children to comprehend, they forgot to add the power of executive orders. Armstrong Economics. November 20th. 004 America New York, A Nation Divided. Question. Marty, are you surprised at the Rittenhouse acquittal? Was this part of the anti-government or decline in confidence you have been forecasting? Ph.
Global Economy. November 20th. 000 America New York, central banks are stuck in a hall of mirrors. Officials have been staring at the reflections of their own policies, relying too much on canonical models.
Wall Street Journal Markets. November 19, 2347 America New York. China Evergrande's EV business to raise $347 million from share sales. The planned transactions by the cash-strapped Chinese property developers unit are part of an effort to strengthen its financial position and fund EV production.
Daily FX Market News. November 19, 2300 America New York, RBNZ Preview. How will the New Zealand dollar react? With inflation and employment data much better than the RBNZ expected, risks are geared towards a possible 50 bits per second hike.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business. November 19, 2111 America New York, Elizabeth Holmes takes the stand in criminal fraud trial. Attorneys for Holmes went on the attack, aiming to present a fresh narrative about the founder of the failed startup Theranos. New York Times Business. November 19, 2106 America New York, prosecutors rest their case in the trial of Theranos' Elizabeth Holmes. Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes exits the federal court building with her mother Noelle Holmes in San Jose, California. On Wednesday.
Google Business News. November 19, 2000 America New York, iconic Araya Bakery pie mechanic reopens under new management, receives huge support, Armadale Express. Iconic Araya Bakery pie mechanic reopens under new management, receives huge support Armadale Express.
BBC News Business. November 19, 1901 America New York, Greensill. State Bank risked £335 million to back lender, say MPs. A government-backed bank did not scrutinize Greensill capital properly, MPs say. Finance and Economics. November 19, 1900 America New York, the violence in Ethiopia imperils an impressive growth record. Of all the countries in Africa, it came closest to mimicking the Chinese model.
New York Times Business. November 19, 1900 America New York, Ford and Rivian no longer plan to work jointly on electric vehicles. Ford remains an investor, but its own EV development plans have progressed since the partnership was announced.
Daily FX Market News. November 19, 1900 America New York, Australian dollar outlook. US dollar, Treasuries, RBA, Fed. Is AUD, USD sidelined? The Australian dollar was undermined by US dollar strength and then a feisty bond market that overreached. What is going to drive AUD, USD from here?